Late today, President Donald Trump announced plans to impose a 25% tariff on imported cars. What we know about his plans.
After a day of record heat across the inland Northwest, we have the chance of thunderstorms tonight, rain tomorrow.
And I truly believe this is going to put Coeur d'Alene on a new path.
And a landmark project set to reshape downtown Coeur d'Alene. In our ongoing Boomtown coverage, a look at the plans for the Sherman Tower.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
Good to have you here. I'm Whitney Ward. We do start with breaking news tonight. Right now, crews are responding to a brush fire that is burning near Medical Lake.
The fire is burning near Thorpe Road and South McEnany Road. We just got off the phone with DNR, who tells us there are no structures threatened at this moment, but that fire has burned at least 80 to 90 acres so far.
Spokane County Fire District 10 and DNR are currently on the scene. They say the fire is slow moving at this time. Again, KREM 2 has a crew headed out to that scene right now. We'll make sure to bring you more information once it becomes available.
The district cannot operate without state funds, period.
Also tonight, we are keeping up with the Meade School District, doubling down on its policies surrounding gender identity in its schools and sports, especially at its recent school board meeting on Monday.
Just 2 weeks ago, the Meade School District sent a letter to the U.S. Attorney General and Education Secretary asking for guidance on gender identity policies, saying the new federal orders do not align with state mandates.
KREM 2's Christian Garza has the latest on this ongoing battle.
And now if the school district doesn't follow state direction about gender policies, they stand to lose close to $137 million worth of state funding. That's about 80% of the district's budget. Now, this is all according to stats from the district's Citizens Guide to Budget. Now, that was presented there on Monday at that board meeting. Now, earlier this week, the Meade School Board asked for community input on its proposed policy amendment to the inclusion of transgender athletes in school sports, more specifically women's sports. Now, the proposed amendments require transgender students to get administrator approval to use the bathroom of preferred gender identity. It also says that students are not allowed to room on overnight trips based on preferred gender, and it would restore power to parents to be made aware of their child's gender identity without permission from the student. Since February, the Meade School District has been trying to balance finding middle ground on the state laws and federal policies to avoid losing funding from either one. To break it down, the school district gets around $137 million from the state, like I mentioned earlier, and on the other hand, they get close to $9 million from federal funding. Parents and community members on both sides showed up to speak about these proposed changes and how they will impact students throughout the district.
That a student cannot randomly declare to be transgender and gain access to locker rooms and bathrooms. There is a clear process and guidelines that must be followed. The district is already doing their job to protect non-transgender students. The board should be working on meeting the state requirements and then creating and improving policies that would benefit our entire community, not further excluding a minority group that I guarantee you already feels excluded and discriminated against.
But I just felt compelled to speak at the last minute when we had some speak from the other side, because I obviously am in support of what the district is trying to do. This is really about a safety and fairness. And so when you talk about equity and all, it has to be equity for everyone and all those things, but we want equity for our girls too. And that is a big part of the population, a larger part of the population that is not being treated fairly about sports, safety, and fairness.
While the details of each policy are very specific, the board says it will continue to ask for public input before sending a final version of the proposed amendments to the Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction for review. The board says it will revisit these amendments and take further action in April. At Monday's meeting, the board said it currently delegates authority to the Washington Interscholastic Activities Association to determine how students can participate in athletics. Currently, the WIAA ruled that participation in athletics is based on gender identity. However, Meade, along with other school districts across the state, have called for an amendment to this rule. Now, the WIAA is set to vote on the proposed amendments changes, which would limit participation to participation in girls' sports to biological women, and would ask athletic programs to create separate divisions for all students. That way, transgender athletes would be able to participate. In Meade, Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
Thank you very much. And now to an update on that deadly drive-by shooting in Moses Lake last week that left a 14-year-old dead and several more people injured. Moses Lake police say they are still searching for 2 suspects.
So just yesterday, police arrested a teenager in connection to that shooting. The victim was 14-year-old Mario Amezcua Santoyo. He was a student at Frontier Middle School. Police say the suspect was arrested at a hospital in Richland on Monday. He was being treated for a gunshot wound to his lower leg. Detectives believe the suspect shot himself during the shooting. 4 other people were also injured in that same shooting.
All right, let's talk weather on this beautiful day. We knew we had the potential to break the record high temperature for today, but did we actually do it?
All right, so for that answer and also for more on the chance of thunderstorms, we're turning to our chief meteorologist, Jeremy Legoo.
Yeah, a couple things to note. 75 degrees.
Wow.
I know. You should have just seen the Facebook comments a little bit earlier. They're quite entertaining. A lot of people accusing me of, getting the forecast wrong. It took a while to get to 75 degrees. That's what happens when you have clear skies and cool down. Spring is about big swings. And if you're getting up to 75 degrees and have clear enough skies to do so, you are also going to see a cold morning. And that climb takes a good chunk of the day. So 75 now versus 75 in June are 2 different beasts. Glad we had that conversation. Max wind gusts 20 miles per hour, so things are moving. Not bad enough that we have major concern about that wildfire burning out near Medical Lake, but enough that, yeah, we have a little bit of wind. 75 here in Spokane, 70s across the region, but there's the storm. West side getting pummeled right now. Doesn't look like we have any severe weather yet, but that is not out of the question. I think our bigger event arrives a little later this evening. For us, most of this is shielded by the Cascades. The Cascades are going to do a great job of just keeping most of the showers away. I think we get a couple of light showers moving through, lots of activity in north central Washington. Tomorrow, just scattered showers and much cooler temperatures, like a lot cooler. 59 degrees for a high, and it's going to be tough to get there. 54 on Friday, 53 on Saturday. And just to put those numbers in perspective, you got to climb up to them, so that means we spend most of our day a lot cooler than those numbers.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. Thank you very much. In our ongoing Boomtown coverage, we are taking you to North Idaho tonight, where a key landmark in Coeur d'Alene is expanding.
KREM 2's Shannon Mowdy is here to show us the work on the city's latest hotel hotspot. Shannon?
Hagedon Hospitality is adding to the Coeur d'Alene Resort, breaking ground this morning on Sherman Tower. If you think Coeur d'Alene, the word resort probably follows, with its point of pride presence on the lakefront. So its expansion on First and Sherman could be called downtown's up and coming landmark. Hagedon Hospitality broke ground on Sherman Tower Wednesday. The 15-story hotel will add 139 Lakeview guest rooms. Resort President Bill Regan says they're often full and turn away visitors daily during peak summer season.
I think what we're going to see in terms of additional guests coming to Coeur d'Alene is going to be significant. There's a lot of groups that we couldn't go after because of the size. Now we'll be able to go after those.
Sherman Tower is also expected to elevate hospitality with a lobby cafe and lounge and Mexican seafood and steak restaurant. A rooftop bar may also draw in guests and locals alike.
It's still a fragile business community downtown, and to bring these people downtown on a year-round basis is going to really help all the businesses thrive.
A 2021 Northern Idaho tourism report shows direct travel spending in the area reached nearly $1.5 billion. That generated $11 million in local taxes. Coeur d'Alene Resort says the tower will also lead to more jobs. Tourism accounts for 9% of all employment in North Idaho.
And just infuse the corridor with more people shopping and dining.
The Hagedon Group originally tried to build the tower on the resort grounds in the 90s.
And then we tried again to build it over by the plaza, but this is the right location for it.
Third time, maybe the charm this city soon calls its crown jewel.
And I truly believe this is going to put Coeur d'Alene on a new path.
The Sherman Tower is expected to open May 2027. Shannon Mowdy, KREM KREM 2 News.
Shannon, thank you. Washington senators weighing in on the Trump administration's potential cuts to Social Security benefits. That story is still ahead here at 5.
Top intelligence officials face more questions from lawmakers as new details about the sensitive military operations disclosed in a messaging app are released. I'm Erica Brown on Capitol Hill with more on that and reaction from the White House.